last time I ate spicy generals. Where the hell am I?
Penis, 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 penis.
Creepy! What the hell did you just do?
Decker? What the hell are you doing here in my room?
Never mind that, I just came out of the closet!
Well, that's nice, though not entirely unanticipated.
Very true. Why don't you have a seat on the bed and we'll talk about it?
Not that kind of closet. Literally the closet. I walked out of your closet.
The hell? What did you do, Decker?
I haven't done anything. There was this great big flash and suddenly I was in your closet.
Really? That shouldn't have happened. Let me see. Oh, I see what happened. You fell through the space warp.
What?
The space warp. You know, that thing that opened up when we had our big hair battle 2 years ago. I've been storing it in my closet.
Against my better judgment, I might add.
You keep a transdimensional tear in the fabric of the universe tucked away in the back of your closet. Like where you keep your shoes.
And my old porn VHS tapes.
It's a natural adhesive.
Never mind, just help me get back to my place. I need to get started on my October reviews.
Hey, I've got stuff to do around here, too. But I suppose it won't take very long. Let me put some clothes on first.
Good idea.
Hey, Decker. Catch!
Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Becca Shado, the internet personality with the best hair.
That's still debatable.
And since it's October, I thought we'd...
Decker? I thought you were going to give me a hand with this space warp so that I could send you back to Texas.
I've got a review to do. Sometimes you just gotta play where it lays.
What does that even mean?
Since people have requested that I cover more kaiju films, I thought I'd devote this month to exploring a few of the more well-known monsters of Japan that aren't Gamera. Japan has a wide cast of great beasts who've made careers out of smashing buildings and terrorizing the populace. It's hard to pick just one, but I think people watching will be happy to see me settle on...
Wait. I can already see where this is going.
What is it now, creepy?
You're planning on doing a review of Godzilla, aren't you?
Well, basically. Godzilla's one of the most recognizable kaiju out there.
You don't think that this feels just a little bit like a cop-out? I mean, with so many kaiju out there, why pick Godzilla? And also, didn't you and Tim Deanna do a review of Godzilla, the original Godzilla, just a few months ago?
Okay, well, what kaiju would you say is more recognizable than Godzilla or Gamera?
Masuda, Dongan Kasakuya, Indomu, Rustoira, Hanba Muya, Randa Baruradan, Donjun Kana, Kasakuya.
It's a fucking butterfly!
She's a moth, not a butterfly, hence the moth part of her name. For someone who's so obsessed with science, your grasp of biology is quite disturbing. The first Mothra film debuted in 1961, and it had been based on a novel titled The Luminous Fairies and Mothra. Mothra proved to be a very popular kaiju, and while it would be years before she would receive more films focused explicitly on her, she is nevertheless a very recognizable character in the kaiju franchise, particularly among Japan's female population.
I wanna do Gojira!
As I just said, Decker, Mothra is very popular with Japanese women. We are going to Japan next year, and those same Japanese women will be very appreciative if you review this film.
So, let's take a look at Mothra and see how fast I can get laid. Kaiju. Our story begins with a weather report warning of a typhoon in the South China Sea. This spells trouble for an ocean liner in that region, whose crew apparently has nothing better to do than stand by the windows and stare out into the darkness.
Abandoned ship.
That's kind of fast. Normally they at least take the time to assess the damage before giving the order to abandon a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment.
They're on a ship in a kaiju movie. Their best bet is to get out while they can. I mean, take a look at this guy.
He's He's not even waiting for the lifeboat.
And he'll have a better chance of swimming back to Japan in the middle of a tropical storm?
Yes. Yes, he will. The crew is found the next day on what appears to be a deserted island. After they are taken back to Tokyo, doctors are amazed that none of the surviving crew members have suffered any adverse effects from radiation, despite the island being in a noted nuclear testing zone.
I think it was the juice that must have protected the juice.
What are steroid reviews?
I was thinking semen joke.
You're always thinking semen joke.
Well, let's just get back to the review.
The juice was given to the men by the natives of the deserted island, which happens to be not quite as deserted as everyone thought. Forget about that for now, though. We're finally introduced to two of our protagonists. Journalist Senchiro Fukuta, aka Bulldog, played by Franki Sakai, and photographer Michi Hanamura, played by Kyoko Kagawa. More impressive is their editor, Sadakatsu Amano, played by Takashi Shimura. And for those of you out there wondering, yes, that is the same actor who played the paleontologist from the original Godzilla film.
Let's hope his etymology is better than his grasp of dinosaurs.
Spoiler alert, probably not.
Fukuta and Hanamura have an interview with Dr. Shinichi Chujo, played by Hiroshi Koizuma, who has been selected to travel on an expedition back to the mysterious island. The expedition is being funded by Clark Nelson, a foreigner from the far-off country of Relisica, played by Jerry Ito. Nelson has forbidden the press from coming along, so Fukuta sneaks aboard the ship. However, a ninja he is not, which means Nelson discovers him very quickly.
Start talking. What are you doing here?
Suppose he might be the bad guy in this film?
You think?
Fortunately, Chujo arrives on the scene, keeping Nelson from shooting Fukuta and ending his role in this film. Instead, they decide to make him a member of the Guard! Oh, I'm sure this won't go badly.
Hello. I was looking for Chujo.
So much for that theory.
Who gave that man a gun? Backing up just a bit for a sec, it doesn't look like the expedition is totally doomed despite Fukuta's bumbling. After all, they brought an entire army of Ghostbusters to conquer the Planet of the Apes. At least that's what the scenery resembles, until they stumble upon the Hidden Valley. I'm gonna be disappointed that they're not making ranch dressing here, aren't I?
Who knows? Maybe that's what all of those sailors drunk.
It ain't that good, creepy.
Exploring the Hidden Valley, Chujo enters a cave with strange plant life of enormous proportions and odd cave drawings. Before long, he finds himself starring in his very own tentacle hentai.
It's a Japanese man being attacked by tentacles. I don't have to do anything with this. On a related note, this is why you send the women in first.
They didn't have any.
Feminism takes another blow from the 1960s.
Ah, crap! Is this why you wanted me to watch this movie, creepy? Chujo is saved from being anally violated by the local flora thanks to the arrival of the Shoijin, our tiny fairy twins, played by Yumi and Emi Ito. Who are actual twins in real life, though there's no word yet on whether or not they were actual tiny fairies.
Chujo is found and revived by the others, who are quickly debriefed on the tiny women that saved him. Unexpectedly, the others don't automatically assume that Chujo is crazy due to his tale of tiny singing women, and the expedition goes out in search of the Shobijin.
Alright, baby, come to Papa.
Alright, now you got the whole set!
I'm a little disappointed that they didn't use Pokeballs. Or at the very least, those plastic boxes they keep Barbie dolls in.
For some reason, the rest of the expedition didn't expect Nelson to kidnap the little women and plead for him to let the two go. Nelson only concedes when a tribe of Japanese men painted black show up, intimidating the group with their rock music. How is it their rocks sound like kettle drums?
You must admit, that sound takes a great deal of skill to produce. So how evil is Nelson? Despite the expedition traveling back to Japan, a study between Chujo and Fukuta on the mysterious island glyphs, and Fukuta agreeing not to publish the story about the Shobijin, Nelson still manages to sneak back to the island and recapture the twins in less than 4 minutes.
That's pretty evil.
Not to mention efficient.
Oh, stop being impressed by the obviously evil villain. I feel like you two are trying to take pointers from him. Nelson takes the Shobijin back to Tokyo, intent on making them into a stage act. So we've got this theater full of thousands of people on this grand scale, and this small little stage with these two tiny women. How are they even audible?
acoustics.
Come on, that doesn't really make sense. They're tiny. Their voices should not carry that far.
Puberty can be an ugly thing to cope with, Decker. Maybe you'll find out someday.
Hey, where do you think this came from?
Walmart.
It just so happens that the Shobijin singing is a telepathic prayer to summon their island goddess, Mothra, to the rescue. The island natives lend a hand by performing a fertility dance complete with women who are clearly marked by bra straps despite their tube top fashion. Dear God, they are primitive.
Hey, it could be a lot worse for them.
Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical.
Be honest, I prefer that to Disco Duck.
I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I agree with Decker.
The song and dance number, as well as the red paint drinking, causes Mothra to evolve from egg to larva form. Mothra then begins her trek through the ocean toward Japan, hell-bent on a rescue mission.
Oh, wait, I got this. Meanwhile, back in Tokyo, Chujo and Fukuta attempt to infiltrate the theater where the Shobijin are being kept. Chujo goes on ahead while Fukuta stays behind to square off against Nelson's thugs, proving his mettle as a manly man of manliness.
Oh. No!
What the hell is this? I've heard of drunken masters, but this is more like accidental master.
The ancient fighting style of defeating your enemy by falling over your own 2 feet.
In other words, the perfect fighting style for Decker. The twins let them know that they speak telepathically, and that nothing can stop Mothra, meaning that quite a few people are going to die horribly thanks to Nelson's stupidity and greed. Sure enough, reports start pouring in as Mothra reaches the mainland.
Oh goddammit, we just rebuilt that after Gamera destroyed it twice!
This is a Kaiju film, remember? Nothing is sacred.
Not even Tokyo Tower. Again.
Nelson refuses to give up the Shobijin, and thanks to protection from his homeland, Japan's government has no recourse. This means the military get involved in trying to slow Mothra down, which works about as effectively as any military does in a kaiju movie. Hold on. Mothra is supposedly heading straight for Tokyo. Why is she moving across farmland?
Maybe she's approaching Tokyo from the west?
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Logic and Reason.
Mothra does eventually arrive in Tokyo, and after a break to destroy a few city blocks, makes tracks for the one landmark that every kaiju must visit, Tokyo Tower. We really should have seen this coming by now.
I imagine what it would be like to watch a kaiju movie where Tokyo Tower is not destroyed. Just picture the whole city leveled and the tower is still standing.
Picture, if you will.
Out of nowhere, the nation of Relisica withdraws their support of Nelson, meaning he no longer enjoys his diplomatic immunity. Rather than give up his 2 tiny cash cows, Nelson opts to get out of the country and leave everyone behind to suffer Mothra's displeasure. Mothra's spent enough time in rookie form, though, so she quickly produces Silly String to evolve into a giant peanut.
Oh, what the fuck, creepy?
Peanut. Giant peanut. Not penis.
Oh, well, you never know with him.
His mind was not the one in the gutter this time.
With Mothra temporarily dormant, the military springs into action. Relisica even offers to loan their new heat ray to Japan so everyone can enjoy delicious hot roasted peanut. Now's the time! Quick! A volley of salt!
And don't forget the honey glaze!
Since we only saw it burn just a little bit, it's safe to assume that the operation wasn't successful. Of course, this means that the military declares it a complete success. Nelson, who by this point has arrived safely back in Relisica, hears the news on the radio and celebrates with an
But
evil
Mothra
laugh.
can't hear you.
And the reason Mothra can't hear you is that Mothra is dead.
Mothra is dead! Mothra!
It's dead. Yes, dead. It's dead. Sing.
Can you tell I'm evil? Listen to how evil sounding my laugh is.
You sound more like an evil hippo than a kaiju villain, Decker.
Silence, or I shall blow bubbles out of my nostrils!
Back in Tokyo, while the citizens cheer, Mothra breaks free from her flambé cocoon thanks to the Shobijin's song and takes flight.
Goddess girl, wherever you are, do you believe it? Can you receive it? Goddess girl.
Ow, what the hell is that? I'm gonna have to put on some Lordy or some music about monsters eating people in order to feel clean now.
Some people have no taste when it comes to giving props to female deities.
I couldn't agree more, Chibi Thulu. Mothra makes a beeline to Rolisica, bringing devastation via windstorms. These catastrophes play havoc in the Rolisica capital of Newkirk City, where Nelson is hunkered down with the Shobijin.
Newkirk? And I thought Nuke York was bad.
Millions have died for the sake of two tiny priestesses. Don't you just love the mind work?
Hey, nobody asked Nelson to bring those two into their backyard.
That's exactly my point! Well, Newkirk City, which looks an awful lot like San Francisco, despite being a substitute for New York, and based supposedly not only on America, but Russia as well,
Get to the point, Decker.
is being torn apart. An angry crowd surrounds Nelson's car and traps him. He still refuses to give up his prized tiny women. He even steals an old man's cane. Such evil! Nothing can stop this evil!
That worked.
Evil just isn't what it used to be.
With Nelson dead and the Shobijin back in our protagonist's hands, it should be a simple matter to turn them over to Mothra. However, our heroes decide that this is far too simple a plan. Therefore, they need to complicate matters a bit more.
Do you remember this? The inscription from the cave. Right? Ah, I think I see. This must have some sort of religious significance.
When you hear the bells, they sound like the girls' voices to me.
Will you have this sign copied as large as possible on the airport runway? There's something else. I want every church bell in the city to start ringing at 3 o'clock precisely.
Why can't they just leave the twins at the airport and be done with it? Mothra knows where they are. That's been one of the major points of this whole movie.
Because of reasons.
What he said.
The plan works in any case, and the tiny twins are returned to Mothra so that she can fly them home to their island. The twins even get a dance party reception. Wait a minute, they're doing the same thing they were being exploited for in Japan.
Ah, but they're doing it at home now. It's different.
Well, that was Mothra, and it will take you away from the pain. Unless you live in Japan or the fake America or Russia, well, you'll probably get crushed.
Have you been sniffing bathroom cleaner chemicals?
Again.
Mothra is a pretty solid kaiju movie. It's interesting in that it's one from the early 60s where the monster in question is not all-out evil. It's said that this may actually be the first kaiju film where the title monster is not killed at the end. But that's easy to understand, as such an ending would not feel right at all in this situation.
Mothra takes a number of the preconceived notions regarding kaiju and turns them around to make a story that, while dragging in spots, is still engaging. The title monster holds a particular place in my heart for being an instrument not of pure destruction in and of itself, but of protection. Mothra's goal in the movie is not of revenge, but to safeguard the lives of her primary priestesses. The true antagonist in the film is Nelson, whose greed leads to the death of countless people.
What really worked for me was how Mothra's growth stages kept the movie fresh. While she didn't even come up in conversation at all for the first half hour, please take note, all those who say Godzilla 2014 was lacking in Godzilla early on. Where most kaiju films have to rely on bringing in new moves or abilities to keep the monster fresh, Mothra changes very drastically as the film progresses, which helps keep it very interesting from beginning to end.
The effort put into the model buildings and the kaiju suit are impressive even now, though it's clear the film has aged quite a bit. The most glaring flaw in terms of special effects is the green screen, but even then the story holds up. Even the supporting cast have their moments, giving a number of unimportant side characters a chance to shine. Mothra is a classic and a must-see for any fan of kaiju cinema, coming in at 4 inappropriately handled rifles in the face out of 5.
Overall, Mothra is a surprisingly engaging kaiju film packed with lots of action and fun characters, both aspects that are essential in a film of this genre. A few problems here and there, plus the oddly out-of-place and cobbled-together solution that stands in for an ending, hold it back from absolute greatness, but it's still more than worth 4 surprise jungle tentacle encounters. out of 5. Thank you all for watching. I've been Decker Shado, and remember, don't steal foot tall priestesses from island natives. It's bad for the economy. Alright, that takes care of one review for the month of October. What's the status on that space warp, Creepy?
I haven't been able to figure out whether this doohickey is malfunctioning or just low on energy because you came through it.
So this means I'm stuck here?
Afraid so.
Well, fuck nuggets!
Oh, calm down. Besides, I figure we have a rare opportunity to make some real money for the Patreon campaign.
If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, Creepy, I'm not making a porno with you!
You are no fun sometimes, Decker. And I had the camera already.
Actually, I was thinking we could review more kaiju films, especially those dealing with Godzilla and Mothra.
You mean kind of like a month-long crossover?
Why not? After all, it is now
Godzilla versus Mothra!
I have been waiting 2 years to do that to you.
Was it worth it?
I hate you.